Right, we're going to create an app with Dataflex Link. I've created a WordPress site called marketplace.com. The app we're going to build is going to be a place to buy and sell items locally to a user. I've added this domain locally to my system. If you wanted to go ahead and buy that, it is available on the marketplace. I asked for a quote. It is valued at £12 million. So good luck with that if you want to buy that domain. So users are going to be able to add items to the marketplace, and they and anyone else will be able to search the marketplace. Also, they'll be able to recheck those searches as often as they want. So I've set up 4 pages here. So first one is where we want to sell something, second is where we want to search, third is items we have for selling, and fourth is searches we have made. So right now I've got no plugins installed, and we are going to download and install Dataflex Link. So the place you want to get Dataflex Link from is accessible from WebDude's website. So we're going to just have Google here, and we're just going to Google WebDude. And we'll get this come up here. We'll open the website, and we're going to go to the plugin manager. So we'll look at the menu here, and as we can see here, WebDude plugin manager, we go there. This is where we arrive. If we haven't registered, we register, and then we will connect and purchase Dataflex Link. So I've already done that. I'm using a test site at the moment, and on the plugins page I'll click fetch your plugins. I'll grab the license key, which I've just copied, and I'll go to the location, choose the plugin we want to download, Dataflex Link, and we'll add the license key, and we're going to download this plugin, and we'll start the download. Okay, so it's now saved. And what we're going to do is we're going to now install that into our marketplace app. So add the plugin, browse to the downloads folder, and open that, and we'll install it. And we'll activate the plugin. So now we've got Dataflex Link installed and activated. We are going to create a selling database. We're then going to create a saved search, which will allow us to search the marketplace. And we're going to create an inquiries database. It will become clear what this is later on in this video. We're also going to create 2 searches, which will allow people to see the items they have for sale, and it will also show what searches they've done. Right, so let's go ahead and create the first database, which is going to be the sales database. So click add new, and we're just going to go through the wizard and create the app. We don't want to allow an unfiltered search, so next. And we're just going to give a confirmation message here. And we'll click next. We do want email contact, but at the moment we're not going to set that up. So let's create the database. And we're going to continue through the wizard. We don't want this right now. We want database entries to be shareable across social media, so we're going to tick this. Next, we want people to be able to remove their item from the marketplace. And we're going to allow them to edit certain fields, and we can determine which fields those will be. Now, important access control is that we want adding items to be private. Everything else can stay as is. So we'll save those settings. Okay, and now we will add fields to our database. Let's collapse this. And let's start adding fields. So this is going to be the item. Editable, yes. Allow special characters. Item for sale. Okay, we want them to add a description. Required. Editable, allow special characters, yes. So the next thing I'm going to add is going to be called department, and it's going to be similar to what you would have in a department store. So I'm going to grab multiple, and I'm going to say allow single only, so you can only add it to one department. The reason why we're using multiple instead of drop down will become obvious when we build our search engine. So this is required, and again we'll allow this to be editable. We're going to call this department, and we're going to start adding options, which will be a list of departments. Okay, there we've got a few departments. I'm going to save that. I'm not happy with the order of these departments, so I'm going to change them. In order to do this, I need to hit the edit button, and then I can drag and move. I believe I need to refresh the page before doing this. Let's check. Yeah, I can't drag anything, so I'm going to refresh the page. And now edit. And I should be able to move these around. There we go. Okay, I'm happy with that. Okay, so I'm going to add one more field, and that's going to be location, which will be a Google place. And we'll put your location. And it is required, but we're not going to allow it to be editable. Alright, so we've got two warnings here. Google Places key has to be added, and reCAPTCHA keys have to be added. Let's add the form for this database to our home page. So we're going to grab the shortcode, which will be under database settings and main. Copy, and let's go to the page. And this is our front page, so we're going to add it here. Click edit, and we're going to click add, and we're going to add a shortcode. Paste that in there. Remove the extra lines, and we'll save that. And let's see what that looks like. We get an error here saying that there's a problem with the Google Places list. There will also be a problem if we create new padlock. This is we don't have the right reCAPTCHA keys. So we're going to go ahead and add those right now. So a couple of things I've got open in my tabs here. I've got the Dataflex Link YouTube channel, which has got a bunch of useful playlists. There's two playlists in particular we want to look at. For reCAPTCHA keys, it will be under the helpful videos playlist, and we can see create Google reCAPTCHA keys for Dataflex Link. And the other playlist is adding fields to a database, and a video we're most interested in is the Google Place one. But I'm going to leave those for now and allow you to look at those at your own time. I have the keys already for this and this, and I'm going to go and add them to Dataflex Link now. So what we need to do is we need to go to Dataflex Link and the options page. And I'm going to add the Google Places key that I have. And I'm going to add the reCAPTCHA keys. These are actually test reCAPTCHA keys, which anyone can make use of whilst they're testing an app. When we connect to the marketplace, there will be a warning message on the reCAPTCHA section to show that these are only test keys. And I'll paste that in there, and we'll paste this one in here. So let's have a look at our home page. And there we go, we now have no error under your location, and we have no error for the reCAPTCHA. However, you can see that I'm using test keys. This is for testing purposes only. Again, you can use the Dataflex Link YouTube channel to find out how to create your own keys. Right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to create a search in order that we can search our marketplace. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'll click on Add New, and we'll go through the wizard again. And we're going to put search the marketplace. And this is going to be a stored database search. And we'll click Next. The database we want to search is our sales database. So we'll fill in these fields here. We'll give our search results table a title. Right, if we've got no items which match the search, we'll add some wording here. We're going to give the minimum score. Let's just put this as 1 for the moment. Right, and we'll click Next. Remember, this is a saved search. So a saved search is a database in its own right, and it can be searched. But we do not want to allow an unfiltered search on this database. So we're going to click Next. Okay, I need to swap a couple of things around here. So under search, I'm going to change that. I'll take that out of there. I'm going to put that in here. And I'm going to put this in here. I'll copy that. These. Okay, that's good. And next. And we'll leave this like this at the moment, like we did with the original database, and we'll sort out contacts later on after we've created the app. So we'll create the save search, and we should be able to see fields we can search on. Here we are. So we're going to add this, and we'll call this "What are you looking for?" And this searches the item for sale field in the sales database. So this is a required field, and we're going to allow it to be editable. And the way it should match is any of the words from this field. A weighting tells us how important this field is to our search. It's pretty important, so I'm going to give it a score of 1,000. We're not going to restrict by this field, and at the moment we don't have a thesaurus. Again, have a look at the Dataflex Link YouTube channel to see how thesauruses work. They're very, very useful. Next, we're going to allow a search on department. Again, we're not going to restrict by this field. We're just going to give it a label. And we have the following options available to refine our search. And we're going to say that a match will be made if any other choices are in it. This isn't as important as the item, so we're going to give this a score of 100, and there's no reason why we shouldn't make it editable. So we're going to add that. Okay, I'll make sure I save the other one. Okay, now the most important field is going to be location, and we're going to say that we're going to ask for your location, as in the location of the person searching the marketplace, and we're going to say that they have to be within a certain distance. We're going to say 5 miles max, and we're going to restrict by this field. It's not going to be editable, but it is required. Even though we're restricting by this field, it's not going to be our most important field, so we're going to give it a weighting of 10, and that's saved. Now we can go to our front end and go to the search marketplace page, and we'll edit this page. We're going to go and grab the shortcode. That's copied, and we'll add shortcode, and we'll save that. A couple of things we haven't done are to do with the access control, so we're going to just change those. I'm going to hide everything for now. and we're going to under access control, we want our search to be private, and also we don't want other people to see our search, so we're going to make that private as well. But the items searched, as in the items searched in the sales database, is going to be everything, not just things. So we set that to private, it would be only things that we've added to the marketplace. When we set it to public, so it'll be anything anybody's added, and we'll save that. So right now, when we load that page, we should get asked to connect. Let's have a look at the page. And there we are, we're asked to connect to search the marketplace. Now we're actually almost done. So there's two other pages we need to set up, selling and searches. And we're going to edit this page. And this page is going to be a search of the sales database, which will bring up only items that the seller is selling. So what we need to do first is we need to set up a basic search on the sales database. So we're going to do that now. Add new. So I'm just putting my items for sale. And it's a search, not a stored search. And we're searching the sales database. And none of these items matter except for this item here. To help us with what we're trying to do here, we can have a look at the Dataflex Link website. Under the reference guide, we look at shortcode settings. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at a button to show a user's entries only. Let's take a look at that. And it says important, the database ID must be that of a search with a minimum score of 0. And that's what we're setting up. So these are the important points here, the database we're searching on and the minimum score of 0. So let's go back to our search. Let's fill in these two fields. And we're going to ignore these fields for the moment. Click next. Sales database searched. I don't think I've used title case on the other confirmation, so I'm just going to change that. I'm going to remove this. And we're going to create that search. Right, now we don't need to do anything else with this search. We're not actually adding any fields or anything like that. So we need the shortcode, which is this one. But we're going to amend this shortcode. So let's go back to our selling page. And again, shortcode. And in order to make a button appear for a user to see what items they have for sale, we're going to go back to Dataflex Link under our reference guide, and the setting we need is add a button to show a user's entries only, and this is it here. And we're going to copy that and we'll add it to this shortcode and we'll save it, and then we'll open this, see what this looks like. And there we go, we have a button which will allow a user to get their items. They need to connect in order to see their items, so we should get a connection requirement. There we go. In order that we can get a similar page to this, which will allow a user to see what searches they have saved. We'll go back to here and we'll add new, and we're going to add another search in exactly the same way as we've done before. And this is just a plain search, and we're going to search on the saved search database, which is this one. Again, it needs to have a minimum score of 0. Just going to change this quickly. I'm going to change this to save searches. And I'm going to remove this. And we're going to create the search. We're going to add this as we did with the previous search. Copy that. And we're going to go to our searches page, edit page. And again we'll add the shortcode. We'll add that special parameter, which is here. Already got that highlighted. Copy. And stick that in there. And save that, and we should get a similar looking page. There we go, and again we're asked to connect. So we've got the basics of our app set up, so we can sell items, we can search the marketplace, we can see what items we're selling, and we can see what searches we have done. So something we need to do is we need to set up a method of allowing contact between people selling items and people wanting to buy items. So what we're going to do is we're going to do something a little bit clever with Dataflex Link. We're going to ask users to complete an inquiry form in order to contact a seller. So what we need to do first is we need to create another database. This is going to be quite a simple one, and it's going to be called inquiries. Actually, sorry, inquiry. That's going to be a database, and the only thing we're going to do here is change this. Your inquiry has been sent. I'm going to change this round. I'll put that there. I'm going to change that to paragraph. And I'm going to put thank you. And we'll go to the next. And we're going to say contact is allowed related to another database or stored search result. For now we're going to leave these items. If you want to know more about these items, there are tutorials available on the Dataflex Link YouTube channel. So we're going to create this database, and it's just going to have one field, so we're going to hide these settings, and it's going to have inquiry. It's required, and we allow special characters, and we'll save that. Another thing, we just need to make sure we change the access control to make sure someone is connected. And let's change that to private. Everything else is fine. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go back to our sales database. Down here, we'll edit that. And we're going to go to the contact section, database settings, and click edit settings. I'm going to scroll down to contact. Here we go. And we're going to say that in order to contact someone who has an item for sale, they're going to have to complete the inquiry form. So we just click user must complete specific database form first, and we should have inquiry in this list. There we go. Again, I'm going to ignore this for the moment, and I'm just going to save that. And that's our app complete. All that remains to do is for us to give it a good test. One important thing that I forgot to add to our sales database is an image field. We want users to be able to see what they're buying, obviously, so I'll do that now. Once someone's added an image, we're not going to allow them to change it, and we're going to require people to add an image. And we're going to derive our image file name from our item for sale. This means that our image will be prefixed with the name of the item for sale. So for example, if we sell a plant pot, the image name will start with the words plant pot. So we'll save that. So time to start testing our marketplace app. So I've got two browsers open. This one's Firefox on the left, and this one's Microsoft Edge. In the left browser, I'm going to behave as someone selling something, and in the right browser, I'm going to behave as someone searching the marketplace. So what we need to do first is connect. This is what we're going to be asking our users to do on both selling and searching. Note on the search page I've changed the colour slightly just so we can differentiate between the two. So the grey one is a person searching the marketplace and the white one is a person selling something. So I'm going to connect. I'm going to use similar emails to differentiate between the two. Now I've got a local email server on my machine, so I can use any email I want. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. So I'm a seller at seller.com. And I shall get an email for that. This is what that email looks like. And I'm going to copy this. And I'll paste it into here. I'll just show you what an incorrect padlock code does. There we get an incorrect code error. So I'm going to put in the correct one. Okay, so we're now connected to marketplace.com as I'm a seller at seller.com. And now let's connect on this side. This is a separate browser, remember? So I'm a buyer at buyer.com, and I'll get that. Okay, I'll add the code for that. See, this one is to I'm a seller, this one's to I'm a buyer. Remember, this is my own email server. And we are now connected. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to search for something. Let's search for a lamp. And we need to put our location in. We're in Vauxhall, London, so I'm going to put Vauxhall. And I'm going to submit that. So there's no items which match our search, but we've been given a private link which we can click to open, and we can display item matches which show us the same result. There we go, nothing matches. But what we're going to do as a seller is we're going to sell a lamp, silver lamp with shade. I'll add a picture of the item, and we have a picture of our lamp that we're selling. So that's a homeware item. So we can only select one department, and we are going to put our location as London Bridge, and we'll submit that. And we've been given multiple links. So this link here, this public link, we can see that anywhere. I'm going to open another browser which isn't logged into anything, and this is Google Chrome. I'm just going to paste in here, and now we can see this item has been loaded, and we can make contact with the person directly who sent this, but we're not going to do that. We're going to use our search. So remember, we didn't see any items before. We still won't see any items now unless we refresh. So we're going to refresh this, and we will get a match. There we go. We have a match 2 miles away. Somebody is selling this item. What if we have lost this page? What we can do is we can go to, let's close that. Let's go to our searches, and we'll click get my items. So this is the search we made, so we can open it, and that will open in a new page. There we go, and if we display items now, we still get that item that's been added. So what we can do now is we can get in touch with the person who has this for sale. Right now there have been absolutely no contact details shared. Dataflex Link will not share contact details. So there we go, we get the lamp, and we're interested in it, so we want to make contact with the person who posted it. Okay, we have an error, cannot connect with user. The page with this form cannot be found. Okay, I think I know what's wrong. What we didn't do is we didn't add, so if we go back to the dashboard over here, let's maximize this window. And if we look at our pages, we have inquiry, but I haven't added the shortcode for it. So I'm going to duplicate this page. Admin. And we need to find that inquiry database. Here it is, and we'll get the shortcode for that. That's a triple click, copy, and we'll add that shortcode there. And we'll save. Let's go back to where we were. So I shall get rid of this tab, go back to the marketplace, and I'll move this to the left. Right, we now can't see the item that we had for sale, but we can see items we're selling here. And we'll open our private view of that, which means we have control over editing and removing. If we open the public link, you'll see we don't have any controls. Okay. Right, so now let's try and make contact again, because we've got that inquiry page set up. Here we go. So the inquiry form has been loaded now. I've given it a kind of yellowy green tint so we can differentiate this page from the others. Right, so let's make our inquiry. I'm interested in your lamp. And how much is it? And we're going to submit that. Contact made. And we can see that I'm a seller at seller.com has received an email from the marketplace. This link here can be customized. I'll quickly show you where that is. So let's go to here, maximize this window. And it's the sales database that's being contacted. And email, under email contact, here we can change this link text here. We can change the text around the emails that get sent to sellers. We can do that in the other databases too. For now I'm going to leave that. Right, so let's open this link. I'll just click on it from here. And we can see that inquiry, I'm interested in your lamp. We can see that it relates to this item here. And we can make contact with the person who sent us this message. I'll say it's 45 quid. You interested in buying it? And we'll send that. And we see you're getting in touch. None of your contact details will be shared, as we've seen, and we'll confirm the contact. Right, so now the email has been sent to I'm a buyer at buyer.com, and again we can change this text here. I'm not going to do it for now, but I want to reply. If I click this link, it should get an error. Yeah, so we've used an invalid link because the link is for the buyer. So let's copy that. And we'll close that, and we'll minimize this, and we're the buyer over this side. So let's open that. Let's leave that. And here we go. So we see that the silver lamp is there. It's 45 quid. You're interested in buying it, and we can continue the conversation. And the parties can exchange details privately, but Dataflex Link will not share details itself.